My name is Grant Jamison. I'm the owner of Professional Diving Centre in Durban. You might wonder, why would you want to do a commercial diving course at Professional Diving Centre? This is Deepworks, the school's dive support vessel. It has a moon pool, wet bell and a twin lock 1500 IMCA compliant air chamber on board. It can also carry the school's 4-man saturation system, but at present it's carrying all the air diving equipment. This is the wet bell on Deepworks, one of the school's wet bells. This wet bell is deployed through the moon pool, and divers will use this wet bell for their training. It's a type 2 wet bell with excursion umbilicals and panel inside and onboard gas. And deploying it through the moon pool on the boat allows for us to deploy it stably at sea, because this bell is used not only in the harbour on training but also in the open sea. This is decompression chamber number 3, which is on board Deepworks. It's a twin lock air chamber and this is used for the pseudo 2 diving done at sea or any other diving done at sea while we're on training. It has a dive control in the chamber. It's a 1500 IMCA compliant PDC, deck decompression chamber. Right, we're on board the dive support vessel Deepworks. On this side of the dive bridge, we've got the bell control panels. We run our wet bell off these panels and we change out the wet bell for the saturation bell as required, but generally we're running the wet bell off this panel. We've got our CCTV monitors here. On this side here, we've got 3 surface supply divers that can dive from Deepworks. And we normally run our 50-meter dives, our 30s, 40s out at sea off Deepworks. This is on the starboard side of the dive control bridge. We're on the port side of the dive support vessel Deepworks, and these are the 3 surface supply diver control panel gauges on the port side. All right, and we're looking at the front of Deepworks, out of the bridge to the front side. The bridge contains the navigation part of the vessel, where we command the vessel from, and the back part of the bridge is our dive control areas, port and starboard dive control. We can dive 6 divers at a time off Deepworks out in the open sea. We generally dive 3 to 4 divers at a time. This is the rear section of the bridge of Deepworks. The dive control is situated at the rear of the bridge, and these windows are in the rear of the bridge dive control area, which looks out over the deck of Deepworks. So while people are diving and diving operations are taking place during training, we can watch the moon pool. This is the Professional Diving Centre decompression chamber number 1. It's a twin lock 1500 diameter chamber. It's based in the IMCA Diver Medic Training Centre, and this is used for standby for the dive school as well as for the other dive companies in the Durban harbour. And it's used where divers start their initial training and lectures on chambers. Right, this is chamber number 2, which belongs to Professional Diving Centre. It's based in a DNV container. It's an offshore IMCA spread, and it's got a panel that's been rigged out for surface mixed gas diving under the IMCA 037. Also used for our air diver training to do the pseudo 2 dives, and we use the 1500 chamber for that. Right, this is the school's training tank. It's a 6-meter deep training tank. It's got 2 windows. We run training in here, and basically we do loss of main gas, umbilical change out for an emergency where a standby diver changes out a diver's umbilical. We also do introduction to other various skills. This is the school's surface mixed gas mini dive control unit. It's a containerized dive control with umbilicals. If we move around, you can see the bus in the hooked up to it, and as you move around you'll see the 3 umbilicals, 2 divers and a standby diver. We use this for air diving as well as surface mix.
Yes, diver 3, go ahead with your ComSec. I've got you 5L5, ComSec 54321.
Here we have another one of the classrooms at Professional Diving Centre. There are 3 classrooms in total. This is decompression chamber number 4, a twin lock chamber. One of the chambers used for training at Professional Diving Centre, mounted in a 6-meter container. We are now inside the dive control unit on the jetty, the school training jetty. And from this dive control unit, we run a wet bell, we run a diving basket, and we can run up to 8 divers out of the dive control here with 4 different supervisors. Right, these are the panels behind me, and we have the CCTV to monitor the divers with our small ROV, which can go into the water and monitor the divers while they're training. All of this adds to proper training, proper supervision of training. If we can monitor the divers while they're training, we are actually making sure that they are training correctly. Here we're standing on the PDC jetty in the Durban harbour. From the jetty here we dive, surface supply and scuba. We've got welding stations, cutting stations underneath the water. We do lift bag tasks, underwater dredging, you name it. It takes place here up to 12 meters of water depth off our jetty in the harbour. This is the hydraulic impact wrench. It's part of the diver training task that we do off the jetty. We use hydraulic tools like this as well as pneumatic tools, grinders, drills, impact wrenches, you name it. We train off the jetty with these tools. This is the school's high pressure water jet gun with a retro jet with a correct barrel length. We've got our own water jet pump and water jet guns. The divers can carry out high pressure water jet. All the surface welding equipment, because the students are taught to weld on surface before they are taught to weld underwater. We're now in the welding bay at Professional Diving Centre, where we teach the students to weld on land. There's a welding table, there's steel, they grind steel here till it's shiny, take all the rust off. They then cut it into pieces with electronic or electric grinders, and then they start learning to weld. So they're learning to work electrical power tools and welding before they go in the water and use hydraulic pneumatic tools with welding. We're now looking out towards the training jetty at the school. That's our training jetty with Deep Works moored up in the background. On the training jetty we do water jetting, welding, broker cutting, various power tools, and including hydraulics, pneumatics, airlifting, lift bag work, and our water depth there is between 6 and 12 meters. Right, at this part of the dive school in the harbour, we've got a LARS system. It's a spare LARS in case one of the ones we're using in training breaks, and we have another spare surface supply control module also on standby in case we need to replace it if something breaks. We've got to keep the students diving, we've got to keep the guys in the water. There's only a certain amount of time to accomplish all this training. We are now in a trailer dive control unit called Unit 3, where we can support 4 surface supply divers from this trailer. It runs low pressure air supply, and each diver has his high pressure backup. Here I'm standing in front of one of the flange. We've got numerous flange tasks, but this is one of the flange tasks with alignment flanges and static flanges, pulling head flanges. We've got a few of them. They set up in the quarry, they set up at sea, we take them out to sea, we lower them in the harbour, and these are the flange tasks that divers train on. Right, this is saturation control, which is where the life support technicians run the saturation system from. At present, we're not doing saturation training. We need a bigger vessel. We've got a 6-man system and a 4-man system, which you can see on our website. Standing in the closed bell dive control at Professional Diving Centre, where we've got our reclaim helmets and our dive control for the saturation closed bell. We're not running this training at the moment. We are looking for a bigger vessel to mount the 6-man and 4-man system on. So it's going to take us a while before we start with the saturation training. We're now in one of our workshops where the dive techs are busy doing maintenance and repair to some of our diving equipment systems. What they're busy with now is a portable CCTV system which works all on 12 volt, including the recorder. This is the dive bus for Professional Diving Centre. It's a 23-seater air-conditioned bus, and we use this bus to move the students around the harbour to the various dive sites and to and from the accommodation. This is Professional Diving Centre's semi-rigid inflatable boat, commonly called a RIB. This boat's used to do scuba diver training for the guys that are on commercial scuba. It's also used to do surface supply diving using a scuba replacement panel. This frame up top supports the umbilicals. This is commonly used offshore nowadays when divers are inspecting jackets, and that they'll often use a RIB scuba replacement panel system to dive to shallow depths out at sea. The boat is used to dive in the dams as well as the open sea, and it gives the students the experience of diving on a small boat as well as diving on a large dive support vessel like Deepworks. You've got to have a rounded, balanced experience of diving off all types of vessels when you're going to enter the diving market as a junior diver. Well, after that look around at the school equipment, what we've got to offer, I've worked as a diver in the civils industry doing civils work. I've worked as a supervisor in the civils industry doing civils work. I've also worked as an air diver and a saturation diver offshore. And I've supervised air and saturation dives offshore, and I've been a saturation superintendent. So I've got a lot of experience and first-hand knowledge of what you need as a diver when you leave dive school. And for that reason, this is why I feel we can offer you the best course that you can do anywhere. Our course is tailor-made to help you in the industry and also to help the companies you're going to work for, to give you the knowledge and the experience that they need from a junior diver breaking into the industry. Your training is vital because that's where you start your career. Join us at Professional Diving Center and let us help you make your career a success.